Hello crafty friends, this is Irene Fierro from Impressive Formations. I have been playing around with Anna Griffin's 3D holiday tree dies, is what the die is called. And I was going to show you what I've been doing with it. So I wanted to show you how to create this card, right? And it'll stand up. Like so. This is kind of what it looks like. And then it's flat for mailing. And so for this die, or at least what I'm going to show you, I am using the 3D holiday tree dies. I am using the Christmas presents 3D concentric dies. And then from these old dies, I found a stamp set in here, the Merry Christmas and this border, and it comes with those two little dies. So I'll be using a few of these dies to create this card. So I have done a little bit of the pre-work, so to save you guys some time. So from green cardstock, I cut one of these trees from this, and then one shadow from here, okay? And then let me finish showing you the rest of the stuff that we need to cut. So if you have any gold scraps, and I'll show you some of the ones I have. So see, these are some leftover scraps that I've had. And so like on one of them, I put some double-sided sticky tape. And what you want to do with that, let me see where my plates, where did I leave them? Okay, we'll be back with so like I said, you start off with your green tree, and then I put double-sided sticky tape on this, and basically I make sure I do two cuts, right? So I cut once this way because I want these lights, and then I put another piece. I would put another piece over here, long enough to be able to cut these dies. But you have to make sure, like here, you would want to pull this guy over a little bit to confirm, verify that all the lights will be cut, okay. And then you kind of fuzzy cut the pieces off to glue on these lights. And then you do the same. You'll come back with another scrap and cut the little T, and then with a wider scrap, or even this scrap actually would work, you do the base, this part, and then you fuzzy cut that part off. So that's how I got this bottom part, and then the star, okay? So that is the detailed part. So also, and we'll cut this together, for the easel part, or to make the tree stand up, you will need so this is cardstock. This is actually really thick. I don't know if you really need it this thick, but yeah, this is 8.5 by 11. Fold it in half, and right here where these tree branches are at, you want that part to be your central point, I guess is what I want to say. So put it on the fold over here. Yeah, we want the, so this is what I am doing here is the trifold, and scoot it as much as you can. You don't care about the bottom part, this part. You just care about this section here. So and if you notice the back, see, it's going to be straight, right? And let me make sure one more time. The hook, yeah. Anyways, so let's cut this together. So from one sheet of paper, you should be able to get 2 of them out. And let me align my metal plate at the bottom. Make sure the die is at the fold line there. And let's run this through. You can kind of hear the machine when it's cutting the double cardstock. Okay, let's see where it's stuck. Let's push this off. Okay. And then you'll be able to use this and cut a second one. The other thing that I like to do too is from, I guess we can, let me see if I have another scrap piece of green. So this is from where I cut the tree out. So I just want a piece. And basically, I just want this, do I have a little pointy thing? So I like from these 2 circles and this treetop. So it's going to be folding here, and I just want to reinforce it in case, you know, people open your tree. It doesn't fall apart so easily. This is more like for just reinforcement. So this part, you know, you don't really have to do it if you don't want to, but I think it'll be a good thing if you did. So let's, and this I'm just going to, oops, I'm a little bit off, but it doesn't matter. All right, let's get this out of the way. Let's see if there's anything else I needed to show you. All right. So that is from this set. And then let's start. You start with your base card. So you can do this on your computer. You can write your personalized message here if you want a computer. fold your 8.5 by 11 sheet in half. And when I scored this, I scored a little too hard and I kind of ripped the paper. So I'll probably be using this now for stamping now. And then cut this down to 5 by 7 cardstock, okay? So here's one. So this is 5 and this is 7 inches. 5 by 7. So you'll be left with this. And then from this set, so I got some red cardstock. And let me show you what I've done on here. This is just red cardstock I have. Okay, so you with the red cardstock on a 5 by 7, you're going to cut one of these. Okay, so you start with 5 by 7, and then you cut it out and you're left with this. Okay, and then with your gold cardstock, you are going to put this down and put this guy, the opening, so it'll cut that part off. So you run that and you will be left with this. Okay, so then it will have that piece. And I think that's all I did with this. And then I think I showed you, like with the that other older stamp set, I created a tag. Okay, so let's start assembling it. Clear some of the space off here. Move this one out of the way. All right, so what I wanted to do is, from my scraps, I actually found 2 frames. At some point I cut something out. And I wanted to see if I could use this here, because I think this started as a 5 by 7, and then I cut some frame out. So I'm going to glue this onto my cardstock. The other thing I was thinking too is if you have like, these are some, I went to a garage sale and I picked some of these gold foil pieces. So something like that would also look pretty if you don't have scraps. I'm glad I can use this one. And then I'm going to put this guy over it. So let me get my drink out of the way there. So this could be uneven. Like I said, it was a scrap, but we're going to hide it. It doesn't matter. Okay, so here's our base. The other thing I did also is from some foil cardstock, I put a piece of double-sided sticky tape, and I have these punches that I got from AliExpress. One of them I think is a 1/4 inch circle, and so I punch little circles, and then this one's a star, and so I punched some stars also. And so like I said, to save some time, my tree went from this to this, okay? And then I added some rhinestones. So I used some, the really small ones inside these, I guess they're supposed to be candles. And then I used a bigger one for the main star. So get that out of the way. So now we are left with this. So let me start by gluing these guys together. And I put tape on those. When I cut these lights out in gold from that strip, I saved a couple of those little gold pieces that are on the center parts of here, and I pushed them into here. And these holes are smaller, so I put some tape in the back to kind of glue them there. All right. So we are going to glue this to our tree. All right, I think we got most of the tree covered. So for this card, I'm using like the same colored cardstock for the shadow. For the example that I was showing you earlier, in this card, my shadow was cream colored. So let's spread some of the glue around. Okay, so this is my little reinforcement here. So I'm gluing this to the back. Actually, I should probably put the glue on here. And like I said, this is optional. It's just that in my mind, we're going to have a fold here. And this is what's going to stand up the card. So if people handle your card a lot, you know, this might eventually break. So we're just going to reinforce that part. And then we will glue these two guys together. Oops. So let's do that now. I should probably add some tape to keep it in place for us while the glue dries. So let's adjust this. Make sure it lines up. Make sure it looks okay in the front. And let's just spread the glue. All right, I think it is ready to go. So here's our card. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this. It's going to be right here, the neck of this guy. So we will add glue there. So let's line this up, center it. I think it's good there. Now, I was going to say too, if you wanted to make a light up card, when you glue your tree to the shadow, at that point, punch where these little rhinestones go, punch out that section, and then you add your lights to the back, and then you'll need a second shadow. I'll try to make a video of that. I guess if you guys want. Like I said, I was playing around with them, and let me show you while this kind of dries a little bit, let me show you what I've done. So this was my first light up one, and this has like it's kind of bulky, this switch, right? And it's got 3 modes. So the first one, so it would also stand up, right? So the first mode flashes. And then the second mode is a slower flash. And then the last mode is just a constant light. I hope you guys can see this. If I do that, maybe. Okay. So that was one. The only thing is, if you mail it, it's kind of thick. I don't know. You'd probably need a special envelope for that. Then my next prototype was this particular one, and I tried to engineer my own thing, so it was a bit flatter. So this one, when you stand it up, you have to, I didn't get this part right. Oh, it actually lights up right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then when you put it down, it turns off. And then if they stand it up, it's not very consistent, this one. So then on my third version, I put the mechanism, instead of up here, I put it at the bottom. And so this one lights up by itself. I don't know if you can see that. This one lights up by itself. It doesn't have a light here because I had to do a couple tries, but this one's more consistent, so I'll probably be doing my cards like that. And I haven't decided whether I want to put a foil bow there or one of the satin bows. But yeah, this one's definitely more consistent, and It's kind of cool to receive a card where it stands up automatically. You don't have to switch anything. It's flat enough that you can mail it. So like I said, I've been playing around with this. And I'll try to make a video once I completely conquer that technique. Anyway, so back to this one. So here, that's all you need. And it's gonna fall obviously because of that. And then we're just gonna put some let's get the cutter out. Well, duh. One thing I did forget. Just wondering why it looks so boring. Let me see if I can sneak this in here. So don't do what I just did. But we will pass this through. This should have been added first. I'm so sorry. So let us do that part. I was like, why does it stand out so red? What did I forget? And then I see those gold frames over here waiting for me. All right. And I always like to put glue because you just never know if after time things fall apart. I'm hoping this glue will last. Because I'm thinking tape eventually dries up and falls off. All right, so obviously this would be easier if you hadn't mounted the tree yet. So like I said, don't do what I did, but we will sneak it in there. Okay, so we want it I say there. So now let me start removing this tape. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble removing that tape. So this by itself makes a very pretty card. And then we'll put, I think I like the bright red. And then let me get, so obviously there's different thicknesses of double-sided shapes. So this is from scrapbook.com and it's like the 1 millimeter. So it's kind of really thin. So I'll sneak one of these guys out. Put it back here. And then we'll add it right around there. And then when we stand up our card, it keeps falling. So we will put our saying right here. And you know, there's our card. I guess I should have probably trimmed a little bit of the foam tape, and I'll probably go back with a little X-Acto knife and trim some of the white part so it doesn't show up. But Anyway, this is the card. It looks nice. It lies flat. You can mail it in an envelope. And let me get back. Here's the cream one with cream colored background and green colored background. Different colors choices, but they look very nice. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please like and subscribe to it. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye.